Right, we're talking about the Atlantic again. Yeah. Yeah, I just can't get away from talking about this thing, can I? Sorry, that's mechanical sound of steam. Right. Now, we're going to be talking about this really short. This Atlantic was in many starter sets for 2006, 2003, 2006, however which way around you want it. Yeah, just so many. And even before that, but I already went over this before, so how can you fix this thing? I'm pretty sure that's what you all came here for. As you all know, this Atlantic is generally very weak and slips a lot. And to be fair, it's not all its fault. The traction tire that it comes with is bald. The original one is bald. That's how it comes when you order a new one. That's just how it comes when you order a new one. And what I've done is I slipped a different traction tire over the original one that has grooves or grips or whatever you want to call them. I don't know what they're actually called, but it has grips to grip the rail better, and it works surprisingly well to improve its strength. It really works. There is a couple downsides to doing that. It won't fit on the wheel if you don't slip it over the original one. It will still slip if you just slip that one on over the wheel instead of the original one. So you have to put it on over the original one to make it fit correctly and actually properly grip the rails. There's a couple of downsides. The other side... Oh, I'm sorry, it is this side. This side... As you can see, the back wheel is just a little bit off the track, and the rear wheels, when this is on there, are lifted enough by the tender that they don't roll, but they do roll sometimes. But generally, if this thing is going around, you're probably not noticing that. And if you purely want this thing to be stronger, I'm really highly suggesting finding this traction tire. I have searched for this particular traction tire everywhere, and I can't seem to find it. I don't even know if this came off of a Lion-O. As you can see, I just slipped it over the original one. It came off of a Lion-O 1061, but I don't think it's from that, because when I looked up the 1061 traction tire, it was the same as what this Atlantic has, the bald traction tire that eventually loses the grip. Eventually, but much longer, this grooved traction tire will eventually turn bald, but it will be hopefully a lot longer than the bald traction tire, which is really relying on staying rubberized and saturated, but it can't, because eventually it just dries out, because in the end it is just rubber, and that's why it slips. You could try to rejuvenate the traction tire, but honestly, it'd probably be better just buy a new bald one even, and see if that works for you. But if it doesn't, then I highly suggest doing what I've done here and adding a traction tire, the gripped traction tire, studded traction tire. I don't know. It has these grips on it. I don't know what they're called. I really don't. I don't know what they're called, but it sure does help it grip the rails a lot better. And now it can pull 7 to 9 cars very comfortably and well. I usually only have it pull 7 because that would be the original cars. And then even though I don't have the expansion pack, these 3 emulate the expansion pack, and then I have the set where it was these 3 cars plus a bonus car, which is this. So 7 cars all together. I usually keep it at that because that's usually the best it runs at, but sometimes I'll add up to 9 or even 11. Because it will pull 11 just fine. But any higher than 11, you can go up to like 12. But I found on my layout that's the absolute limit. And trying to go any higher than that, it can pull 15. It can pull an absolute maximum of 15 with this simple, better traction tire. But not on my layout. No. And it barely does it. It really struggles. So I really would suggest keeping it at a very maximum of 11. And to be fair, these locomotives wouldn't have pulled any more than 7 or 9 cars in reality anyways. So, you know. So the 6 in the expansion pack, in the original plus expansion pack, is fine anyways. So 7 is still a realistic number, and 6 cars is also a realistic number for these as well. So yeah, but a real advantage of these is because of their infamy. The infamy of these. I'm sorry, I said that really wrong. But the infamy of these means that no one wants these. So you know. You can generally find these starter sets brand new for relatively cheap compared to anything else. Usually $300, $200, maybe a little bit more. But when you count in the fact that you're getting an entire ready-to-run starter set, I mean, that price gets a little more reasonable. Yes, the Lionel stuff is expensive. But at least this isn't as expensive as some of the other things. And, well, honestly, it is a good locomotive for a starter set locomotive. And honestly, it's a good locomotive for a first locomotive because it is cheaper. It's not based on any particular locomotive, but I think it's mostly based on the A6 Atlantic because that's what Lionel has chosen to call it when they brought it back as a legacy item. It doesn't look quite like this anymore. It has closer together wheels to actually better look like an Atlantic, where this is farther apart and for the driving wheels. And so yeah, the legacy one also has a fan-driven smoke unit, where this one has the standard bellows unit, where it's liquid smoke, which means that every puff is a wheel turn. You can kind of hear every one of those little clicks that you can hear in the background. Is the bellows trying to do their thing. Unfortunately, the smoke unit on this one has just failed because the smoke unit they used generally does. You can get replacements. I don't know if they have a better one, but I would look into if you can actually put the new fan-driven unit in these or not. There isn't a lot of space to do that. Well, okay. Well, there's a little bit of space. That's like, I don't know, not quite an inch. There's a little bit of space on that side, maybe half an inch, maybe a little less. There is a little bit of room in here, so maybe just maybe, you might be able to fit one of those legacy fan-driven units in here. It would smoke a lot better. One thing you should know about these more modern whistle tenders with the air whistles is that for some weird reason they don't work with post-war controllers. When like this ZW, even if I had the power on, if I do the whistle, it won't work, and that's because the modern whistles work a little bit differently. They expect a certain DC frequency from the controller, but it's not the same as the post-war controller. But you can fix that by getting sound activation buttons and wiring them in.